welcome to You Can Cook, Stupid. I'm your host, Philip Jeremick. Now, on today's episode, we are going to paint a little picture, okay? Now, in this picture, we have you, and you are sitting at some obnoxious brunch spot where you were dumb enough to pay $12 for an avocado toast, which, by the way, you could make at home for like $2. Anyway, on top of this avocado toast is a beautiful smattering of pickled onions, so pink and pretty, and you love pickled onions, but you only ever eat them at restaurants because you're sitting there and you're saying to yourself, how does somebody pickle an onion? Like, I literally wouldn't know where to begin. Like, what do you do to the onion? What happens? What's happening here? Okay, well, I'm here to tell you, pickling an onion is beyond easy. This is going to take moments. And that's what today's episode is all about. We're going to pickle a goddamn onion. Let's get started. Okay, so let's pickle an onion. As you can see, we really don't have a whole lot going on here. I told you this is very, very easy. We have a pot here, like a saucepan, that you're going to need to bring your vinegar and water to a boil, okay? This is really like the basis of this, because this is what's going to pickle your onion. I have here 1 cup of water and 1 cup of white wine vinegar. Now, you can use any of like the pale vinegars that you want. This is white wine vinegar. You can use plain white vinegar. You can use rice vinegar. You can use apple cider vinegar. Any of them will do. And the water is there to dilute it, so it's not an acid bomb, okay? Like, use your brain. It makes sense, right? We've got a jar that it's going to go into. And then here we have not too many things. We have, of course, our onion that we're going to pickle that I've sliced into these beautiful ringlets. Now, although I do think I'm a decent cook, you will never, ever, ever see me slicing anything on camera because I have about as much delicacy and finesse with a knife as Lizzie Borden did that fateful night in the 1800s when she murdered both her parents. So you'll never see that. It's a mess. Anyway, I've got this beautiful onion here. I'm using a red onion. And this is one of those things where, like, don't ask me why. It's just use a red onion for pickling and use like a white onion or a yellow onion for cooking. And just don't ever mix them, okay? This is a pickling onion. And it's no coincidence that I wore my vintage 1997 pink Benetton sweater, because when you pickle these bad boys, woo! They turn real pink, okay? And then we have the other things we need to pickle this. So the water and the vinegar, instrumental. Also, salt, sugar, and black peppercorns, okay? And the rest are just your aromatics. So I've got dill and garlic cloves. Now, some people won't put sugar in. Those people are morons, and I'll tell you why. Because this is all about balance, all right? You've got your vinegar giving you acidity. You've got your water diluting it a little bit so it's not too acidic. Then you've got your salt. And then if you're like, ooh, too salty, too acidic, what do you need to balance that? Sugar. And this is something I will tell you time and time again. Doesn't matter what the hell you're making. Does not matter. It's all about balance. And pickling something is actually like the perfect demonstration of balance, because as we do this, you're going to taste it and you're going to be like, well, shit, that's too sour. What are you going to do? You're going to water it down. If you're like, well, damn it, it's not sour enough, add more vinegar. And this is exactly why anyone can cook. It's just about using your natural taste buds that you have inside your frickin' mouth. Anyway, let's get going. So I'm going to turn this on. We're going to bring this to a boil. So our cup of vinegar, our cup of water, and I'm going to actually put the salt and the sugar right in there, okay? So about that much sugar. I don't know. I didn't measure. I never do. And this is a lot of salt. So I'm just going to do like half that. And as I said, if we need to adjust, we're going to adjust, okay, honey? And then in terms of these aromatics, the garlic and the dill, if you're sitting there being like, well, do I have to put these things in my pickled onions? Can I put something else? Let me tell you your must-haves and your nice-to-haves. Your salt and your sugar and your peppercorns, you gotta have that when you're pickling anything. And then the rest is up to you. I love dill, I love garlic. If you like tarragon, it would be a wonderful thing to add to this. If you like cilantro, go for it. You want to throw in a cinnamon stick? It'll probably be revolting, but that's how you learn, honey child. So you know what? Go for it. And if you're not sure, when you're at the supermarket, walk down the pickle aisle, pick up a jar of pickles. And you'll notice a couple things. From the cheapest one to the most expensive, like fancy French one, you're going to see the same few things. There's always going to be vinegar, of course. There's always going to be salt, usually sugar, and then you'll often find dill and mustard seeds or peppercorns. So you kind of get an idea. Okay, well, hold on. These are pickling spices. I love dill. I'm going to throw in dill. Garlic, love. Going to throw that in too. As I said, whatever you like. Bay leaves, also delicious. Anyway, while this comes to a boil, we can assemble this in our jar. So I've got these beautiful ringlets that match my outfit. Actually, before I put those in, I want to put my aromatics in first. So I'm going to just shove that dill into the bottom, okay? And these garlic cloves, I'm going to give them like a hearty smash. You know what I mean? Just to like further release those flavors, okay? So just get your knife and go smash. Throw that in, all right? Get another one, do the same thing. I actually may have gone overboard with 3, not flavor-wise, but because the jar is only so big. So I'm only gonna put in 2, okay? And then peppercorns, throw them in right now. Now, don't put the dill or any like grassy business you put in there, whether it's dill, cilantro, whatever, don't put it at the top for one very simple reason, because then when you're going to take out your pickled onions to eat them, it'll be like some nasty seaweed at some like crappy like British beach, you know? You're like, ugh, no, nobody wants that. Put it in the bottom. Then start layering in your onions. So if you break them up, way easier. So just do a bit of that and then just like shove them in. And once your solution, let's call it, goes in there, your vinegar and your water goes in there, it's just gonna like flatten them down even more, okay? And this is just one red onion, and it's basically gonna fill this jar. So shove it in there, looks like that. It's basically gonna look, they're kind of just gonna take the shape of the jar. It's gonna look really pretty. And what's great about this is it's so frickin' cheap to make, okay? Because what's an onion? Like not even 80 cents? I might not even fit this whole onion in here. If you have more jars, just make more vinegar and water and go for it. So let's see how we're doing there. I'm gonna take some of the smaller ringlets, shove them in. And you also wanna make space for the liquid, of course. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put some more in because I feel that I can. All right, that's enough. Okay, so take a look at that. You got your dill in there. You've got your beautiful stack of onions. You've got your aromatics. So to recap, garlic, dill, peppercorns, and onions. And in our solution, so the salt and the sugar, I want it to melt, which is why I've put it in here. Just common sense, right? Although, if you put it in here, you're adding hot liquid in, it would melt in there too. And at this point, it's almost come to a boil. I'm gonna taste it. And like I said before, too sour, water that shit down. Not sour enough, add more vinegar. So let's see. I'm actually gonna add a bit more water. And that's all it is. It's a taste sensation. So taste, 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 adjust, adjust, adjust. And we'll be right back for the pouring phase. All right, so this, as you can see, it's real steamy. It has come to a boil. So we're just gonna pour it over top of this. And that's all there is to it. Sorry, I'm like suffocating from this boiling acid. But anyway, here you go. You got your onions, you got this. You just wanna pour it over top, nice and slow, until it covers all the onions. And that's it. That's all there is to it. This is wildly hot to hold, but I want to show you. And there you go. And as this pickles, those are just gonna get more and more and more pink. It's so vinegary in here. And really, you just, wow. Want this to cool. Wait for it to cool completely, and then cover it up and put it in the fridge, and this will last like a week or two. And speaking of it lasting a week or two, this, what we just made, I have to put it down, it's so hot, is called a quick pickle. And that means that it's quick, but also, sorry, I have to move this. Good God, that hot vinegar is killing me. This is a quick pickle. What that means is it's quick, but really the other thing it means is this jar that we used, we did not have to sterilize or bake or boil, which when you're making real pickles, you gotta do, because the whole point of pickling was that foods could last months and months and months and months. So when you're making pickles or anything that you can pickle and you want to do like the real deal, you have to sterilize the jars. You got to bake them. You got to boil them because then none of that bacteria gets in there. This, it's a quick pickle. Obviously, you want to make sure your jar is clean. And then you're just pouring this vinegar solution on top. And as I said, this will last like a week or two. And look how pretty. They're already turning pink, matching my sweater. I made all the right choices with today's wardrobe. And that's all there is to it. You let it cool, you cover it, you put it in the fridge, and you, my friend, have pickled some onions. And how easy was that? Okay, see you next time on You Can Cook, Stupid.